All right, so it's May 21, 2026, and this is the committee conference between Senate institutions and House institutions and corrections. And this will likely be our penultimate meeting.
Our eve to the signing.
Yes, I think it will.
And then we get a handshake.
I'll get a picture of that here.
So, so what
Well,
will,
tomorrow sign. Time for.
oh, okay, so tomorrow, okay.
Well,
All right, so,
we have an agreement, what the goal is, if we can have an agreement today, George,
and I think it
it
was,
was time for John to do the work and get it through editing. And then tomorrow we can sign. Because you're on the text.
Yeah, I may feel to get home. You're wrapped. Thanks.
What, is it
Just
a
one
birthday for anniversary?
My daughter at 13.
Oh, the big one. Yeah, you gotta be home.
okay. So I believe we have resolved all of our,
Hear what we do.
sure. Actually,
I bet
Yes.
it's other meeting.
yes.
Never heard of.
Yeah, you-
At
you-
5:02.
Yeah, we basically, did, we added a notification of intent to sell in place of the, right of first refusal. And, I think, you know, while it's not as protective, it still does provide,
Yeah.
information, and so we have language. So if you would like.
So John Gray, Office of Legislative Counsel, I'm going to screen share to just the 110 State Street section. It will now look slightly differently. Previously, you'll recall that there was a lead-in about certain conditions that need to be included with the agreement, right? And you had multiple conditions, so there was a list. The first was the covenants, the second was the right of first refusal. Because you've now stripped out the right of first refusal, it's no longer on the list. That's why the presentation has changed, but what you see at the start is the same as we talked about this morning. Commissioner is authorized to sell the property provided the commissioner includes in any contract for sale appropriate covenants, developed in consultation with historic preservation. List is struck.
Because all the items except for the, right.
This is the same as this morning, but again, looks slightly differently because the list is now altered. Commissioner shall provide to the chairs of committees of jurisdiction copies of any related RFP and any executed contract for sale of 110 State Street, City of Montpelier, promptly after each becomes available. That's your notice provisions. And then we have our, fairly modified in some section. And I'll see.
This is what we talked about.
It's multiple, yeah, we're including
Okay.
both earlier discussions and what just happened now. So it's the intent to ensure solid FMV. Talked about this morning. Historic attributes protected for future generations. Talked about that this morning. And now the updates. So the next clause, we talked about this morning, that the chairs of the committees of jurisdiction receive timely notice of status updates on the disposition of the property. So that was earlier today, and the new language that resolved, I think, this last piece. And that the purchaser of the property provides notification of any intent to sell to the Secretary of Administration and the Commissioner of BGS, who shall then promptly notify the chairs of the committees of jurisdiction of the potential sale.
So the purchaser of the property 10 years down the road decides to put the building
Yep.
on the market, needs to notify the Secretary of the Administration, Commissioner of BGS, and they in turn will notify the two chairs.
Yeah, yeah,
And that is in the intent.
yes, correct.
I just have one question on that. Does that mean every time the building goes up for sale or ever?
No, so the way that I read this, or that I wrote it, it's that the purchaser of the property, so it's referencing that particular purchaser.
Initial.
So it would expire. If you would like me to add initial, I could do that, but I would say that the already makes it clear. But if you, there's nothing wrong with adding initial. It's just up to you.
Would it clarify? We added the
If-
initial.
If Senator Benson had the question, it seems like it would
Yeah,
better.
I would put that. Just to clarify.
Yeah, that's fine. So two things. The notification is much less of, lower status, because it's not going to be in the deed or recorded even. I mean, it would just be in the, I guess it would probably be in the sale document.
Correct.
And it's been helpful to have this conversation and to hear y'all's concerns, because I do think that the, capital complex does deserve a higher level of scrutiny than just care. So I'm probably gonna look at this next year and just see if there's anything, easier and that we can work on easier instead at the last minute. So that's just one comment, but then the item, I thought we had, regarding that the, fair market value. I thought that's in statute, and so we didn't do the notwithstanding.
Correct.
So that's still
there.
And so it's more than just an intent.
That's correct. There's statutory language to ensure that there's a process that goes out. I can even pull that up if it's.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
But
I just wanna make
that's what
sure.
this, yes.
That's what the notwithstanding is, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Let me scroll back up.
What's like getting rid of the.
Right. Days.
Yeah, yeah.
The notwithstanding is what allowed for sale below FMV. And striking the notwithstanding restores the effect of that statute to this particular authority. So it'd be subject to that process, including FMV.
Okay, good. I'm good.
We're good.
Are y'all
We're good.
okay?
That's the last bit.
Good. Unless something else pops up.
Do you guys want to see what the whole document will look like?
I have to count.
Before we say yes, we're gonna.
Okay, I haven't sent this to Tate, so I'll have to send it afterward if that's okay.
It's fine.
And I'm just gonna be sharing from Word. It's weird. All of this has been happening from the chair.
From your chair.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry. Himself.
Chairman Gray.
Use of chairs.
From Chair Gray. Huh?
Please don't.
Well, they're not turning gray yet.
Oh.
Oh.
Started off great.
Yeah. All right, that's all. That's right.
Beautiful color.
Yeah.
My favorite color as a compliment. Okay, so this is what the form of the committee report will look like. You're gonna have the strange lead in that no one's familiar with,
Right.
except perhaps Rep. Emmons, who's seen this a million times. But it will say, has met and considered the bill, recommends the Senate recede from its proposal amendment. This will decrease the amount of printing that needs to occur. And that the bill be amended by striking out all after the enacting clause and inserting in lieu thereof the following. So this is in the form of a strike all. It's essentially every amendment that's happening to Act 33, last year's capital bill. So you start with your legislative intent, and it contains your total bonding for the full capital bill. That's what's authorized in section 2 through 16. As we talked about this morning, you fit within the total that the Senate proposal had, which included that 868,000 reallocation. The highlighted language reflects an update. There's a shifting in appropriations between FY 26 and FY 27. The line that you see here references the total FY 26 appropriation, and so that's why that's highlighted. In any event, Scott's looked over this several times. I will also look over it tonight to confirm.
This is what's hard on the second year of the adjustment of the 2 year, because we don't have the full. We're amending last year's bill, and that's what's tough to follow.
Okay. State buildings, 3-acre parcels stormwater compliance. This has dropped to 500K. I think this was at 1.1 million. That's discussed, not this morning. That's for FY 26 and FY 27. This is your total major maintenance. We spoke this morning that this is kind of the catch-all. So I think this figure is actually useless as long as you can confirm the other figures, it will make sense. We've returned the line item language for the State House entryway to reference the second floor egress design for Senator Harrison's request. And we've dropped the 1.35 from the Senate proposal back to the House proposal 1.3 million. The language that was not included this morning and that we discussed is this subsection D on before January 15th, 2027. Commissioner BGS to report to the committees of jurisdiction on the status of the designs for that entryway and second floor egress under that appropriation we just spoke to, and on estimates for construction costs.
Does that work? This is
so
the first
we-
time we've seen it.
Yes.
I think it's important that it should be Sergeant at Arms and Buildings and General Services. So we hold the contract, teamwork, so that, but our partnership is with the Sergeant at Arms who will be presenting to your special committee, right? So I would just, I would like her to be included, to represent what she is proposing. Because programming is being led by her on behalf of the state.
Look at that.
Just like magic.
There we go.
Thank you,
Yeah.
if you all agree.
Yes.
Nice. We'll confirm the totals. We spoke this morning about this, the FY 26 door control, 480K added to the St. Johnsbury. FY 27, you have a bump of 320K to the St. Johnsbury door control. Removal of the recovery house, which is a formerly listed item here. And then we have the piece related to the CRCF, which we spoke about this morning. Maintenance, replacement, or renovations at the CRCF or other correctional facilities utilized in response to overcrowding. And then we do have an update to D from this morning. Among the uses of the funds, BGS shall prioritize repairs of bathrooms and showers, CRCF, if the department applies funds to other correctional facilities to respond to overcrowding at the CRCF. That was additional specificity that was missing this morning. The commissioner shall provide an overview of the uses of the funds to Joint Legislative Justice Oversight and the committees. That was the other update at the committee's regular scheduled meetings in calendar year 26.
We want to see you doing this.
So first of all, it's the floors, showers and toilet, or the bathroom. If you're gonna point out showers and toilets, it's also the flooring. And I think some of the floors are,
So
I just want to be set. I don't want the correction to say, oh, we're not gonna do the floor. I'm looking at Emily, who was just there.
I mean, I think it's back room,
It's the
including
bathroom.
the toilets, the showers and
Including
the
the-
flooring.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's,
So would folks be satisfied if it just said bathrooms? Because the discussion this morning was,
They're separate. Showers is
Yeah.
separate from the bathrooms. In the
That's-
facilities. Aren't they?
In some spaces. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, actually.
They are. They're some.
and it's not all of the bathrooms, so it may be some showers.
I understand, I
I
understand.
think people are thinking a bathroom has the toilet and shower
Together.
in a correctional facility. It's
Right.
not designed that way.
Yeah.
The showers are completely separate from a toilet facility.
Yeah, right, so I understand.
well, so bathrooms, flooring, showers, there's another item maybe?
I think that was it. I think
The flooring-
we don't need the flooring, because flooring is only in the bathroom and the shower.
And that's what I'm saying. Is the flooring only in the bathroom and showers or is the
Well, I will say
flooring throughout the
there's
facility?
other flooring issues. Again, I did a tour of the facility to look at maintenance needs and there are tiles that are coming up, which is actually a safety risk.
But it's in the facility as a whole.
In just generally in the facility as a whole, there are also flooring needs. Okay.
All right, so let's leave it.
So you do want the 3 and you want it to be flooring beyond the bathrooms?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what this says.
Okay, so thank you. And then I think the next,
I hate to do this, but in order to really be clear, should you put flooring and showers? Because it almost looks like bathrooms, flooring, showers, that the flooring is more connected to bathrooms and showers. I just don't want any confusion.
I will do whatever y'all want.
I would put flooring at the beginning or the end.
There we go. So now,
It's not the end.
Thank you, John.
Yeah.
you're welcome.
Because I know what happens on session
and
and
then
say,
there's
what's
the
the.
Sure.
Department of Buildings and General.
Yeah, you don't want there to be any inflation that it's flooring's exclusive to the bathrooms.
Proceed applies funds to other correctional facilities, something like that. I think I'm just gonna ask the committee if I may, your intent, and I really didn't want to use that word today. Is the intent that the presentation to the Justice Oversight Committee is a collaborative, because it really.
Need deals.
DOC is going to, so we're gonna prioritize, and then DOC in their planning, and I just may say, we wanna take the gym over here and modify it for some overcrowding. We would do the work, we would identify the costs, but they would be doing the policy. So when I read that, it's sort of like we would be leading that, and I'm not sure if we want to.
Can you scroll back to see, because I'm thinking, okay, right there to D, scroll up so we can read D, okay. If the Department of BGS, then what's that?
Yes, if the department applies.
Applies funds. So if just be commissioner and DOC would provide an overview of the use of the funds, I think you need both.
Would you say
You
both of them?
need both
Yeah.
of you.
Yeah, I think because
But
to me, it would be the Department of Corrections would propose other. I mean, you wanna see the proposal, is that correct? I'm
Well,
back
we
to
want
what.
to be aware, we want to
Okay.
be aware of it and
Okay.
what's entailed, and then you're gonna end up moving women possibly into a male facility.
Right.
And that's gonna be,
That's a discussion.
that's gonna bring out the public,
Yeah. As it should,
that's gonna bring out a lot of concern.
yeah.
We got both commissioners now.
I could spend it all on the back. I'm just kidding.
Right,
Exactly.
probably. Okay.
Very overcrowded bed.
They are.
Section 4. This was the 200K bump to the major maintenance statewide historic sites that accompanied the removal of the extra 100K for each of those building communities grants. Nothing to section 6. Nothing to 10. Nothing to 14. Nothing to the reallocations. I like the speed that. Okay.
Lightning.
Cash. We do have some things here. Spoke about them this morning. There's your statewide major maintenance total, and we also discussed the distinction between bonding and cash from this morning. Because you'll recall that at least on the bonding side, some of that was rejiggered. You want to pause there?
And just the props is kept up, they have this.
They haven't given them the specific literal language yet,
So they
but their understanding of the flip flop, the records more joint fiscal, as well as the couple of little changes.
So we did a reversion.
It was a reallocation.
The reality is
Reallocated.
bonded.
It's all there.
Yep.
So that's, so we don't need that to be highlighted
No. This is just
You
changes
agree
from,
to.
yeah, from,
from after
yep,
that.
exactly.
Got it, okay.
I think you have the real.
That was before,
Yeah,
that was
it was
before
in
we
the Senate
presented to
proposal.
the Senate, yeah,
Exactly.
thank you.
You flipped the 2.7 that had gone to general door controls. It's now 2.7 to the St. John's Very door controls, similar to what you saw in the earlier bonding sections. Do you need to do anything with this cash call out? Or you go with this? If you remember, there was a disjunction between these because of the sequencing of the budget and the capital bill.
This is for the same thing.
It's for the, so do you want the
You
exact
gotta
same?
have it here for the, you got 598 in bonded, and you got $500,000 in cash, which is for the same projects. You fill out the same
Thank
language,
you.
so you can cut the pigs.
That's what
The
I,
old days literally did cut out the piece of paper, pasted it. We
You
did.
don't have to do that, that
We
doesn't make
did.
more trees.
I'll come back and do that. I'll come back and do that one.
That's the blue
We
sticky.
did. We did.
So
That's what it took so long.
what I may do, and particularly since I have the night to do this. You saw the reporting provision that was tied to just the bonded piece earlier for this line item. I may move that to a policy section. So I can call back to the cross references in both bonding and cash, just for the same purpose. So it'll look slightly different, but it's the same substance. And I can go slower, I'm sorry.
I don't know if I followed you. But I'm-
I, trust me.
Yeah, I trust you. I have faith.
Thank you.
You may find you just want to build it.
I can't sell it unless I tell it's
But
safe,
you'll
right?
love it. It's up to you.
2
Yeah, well, we already did that one.
Okay, so this one is really unfortunate in how it looks, but this captures everything you guys talked about earlier.
Maybe we don't know what we're talking about, but we did it.
So this is what used to be the Wi-Fi piece. I mean, it still is, but it's quite reworded. So to DOC to work with ADS. I'm just gonna pause after a bunch of pauses. To develop a plan and begin implementation, prioritizing communication services of the provision of network connectivity in state correctional facilities.
Is it communication services? Do we have that in the previous?
No, this was.
No, that was
I know
what I-
that, but is it, I know what you were saying, that it's really helping all the communications. But if you're looking at communication services, that's kind of looking at how they're communicating. I mean, this is the offender management system. This is, working with staffing and their scheduling. This is working with, I don't know if it gets into victim notification. When you say communication when it comes to your.
It's
crime,
more like internet connectivity.
I
So
think it's
that-
broader than internet.
Well, my goal is to get the inmates to be able to use the tablets effectively, and the folks who are there, the employees, to be able to have access to the to the web.
Yeah, I'm not the expert in this, but I think the provision of the network connectivity is where you're going, and I think DOC and ADS, there's a broader communication piece on transfer, and so I think what I heard is that the system and the evaluation has to look at it holistically.
Right.
So
Well,
I think that's what, so I think your network connectivity piece is, I think that language is addressing what you were concerned about, but that's just what I
Okay.
heard.
I do not see prioritization in there, and they could go to what, laying the foundation for future capabilities, or there was some other stuff,
The tablets,
processes and reduces reliance on paper. I just want to have a statement of priority.
Right, I mean, I can't speak to,
But we still have all the other language.
right, because it's the processes that they're going through right now for the IT project, so.
Right.
I mean, it's more than communication. The tablet system they're on their own separate network. It's not a DOC network. It's through the contractor that we contract for the.
Okay. So
For the
that,
tablets. So what we're talking about is to digitize all the work the DOC does now. Because they do a lot of paper. If somebody's coming into booking, that's all paper. We want to digitize that. They can't do it unless they have Wi-Fi to do that.
Well, they have a
Yeah.
system.
They have a system, but it's all paper. Right now with the DOC, with your inmates and their records, all of that is entered by paper. And Wi-Fi would allow DOC officers or staff to enter it digitally with a Wi-Fi network. So that's what we're talking about.
that's one of the things that we're talking about.
Right.
Yeah, and that's still there. It's just, as far as implementation goes, we've been pretending that we have a system, and our system isn't effective for people to communicate. But that's what I hear as a big problem.
It's the operations of DOC.
Right,
It's the operations of our facilities.
So if they're gonna if they prioritize operations first, then and do the other communications last, that's a problem. It could take years.
I guess one question for John Gray is, does phrasing it this way make DOC or AGS prioritize in a certain order? Must they work in a certain order? Must one come before another?
The way that I think of this, develop a plan, and then the prioritizing communication services is specific to the beginning implementation. And I would say that it is because no other priority is named, right? Otherwise, we're saying it's develop a plan of network connectivity that does A, B, C, D. Prioritizing communication services is the number one thing. Like if I read this, I would say that is, once you begin to implement, that is what's on top. Communications.
And then I guess I would say, just Senator Harrison's concern that when we were on our tours and talking to the CEOs and to the inmates, communications was part of what they were frustrated with, but it was also entertainment. It was also access to education. And that's just on the incarcerated side of things. I find it hard to put one above others. I dig what you're saying. It's really important to me that these folks are able to communicate with their people too. But I don't know if I can prioritize that ahead of, for instance, CEOs having access to current information, to inmates having access to education.
However,
Oh, I think that education access is also.
right,
I would-
if you look at that and the way it reads.
Yeah.
Provision of network connectivity. Network connectivity gives them access to and the ability to expand those other areas that you just referred to.
Well, then I guess I go back to John Gray and then, and is this the way that you're reading it, Senator? That's the prioritizing just the provision of network connectivity as well as communication services, and they're co-equals.
I mean, the whole thing is about developing a plan and beginning implementation of network connectivity. That is the request. But when you have the choice of implementing the network connectivity, what is meant to be prioritized is communication services. That's the way that I.
Right, but that would include the training opportunities too, and connectivity for the staff. So
I mean, the other way to think about it is if you had no priority language and you said to develop a plan to begin implementation of the division of network connectivity that does it has to do all of these things. Like that's what's required here. So if you're satisfied with the list of things, that is what has to be achieved.
But I can tell you right now, phone calls gonna be placed in July. If we're confused, if we're trying to define prioritizing communication services here with 6 people, I can guarantee you there will be a phone call to a number of us in July. What do you mean by communication services? I can guarantee it because I lived it. And then and then there's gonna be this back and forth with nobody being clear in terms of what it means.
I think you're right. I mean, to me, and this isn't my area of expertise, but until you have the plan, you don't know what piece has to go first in order to make it all work. And the fact that you are requiring them to report on a regular basis would give you the opportunity to help steer the direction as the plan comes before you, where that other board could say, here's what we really want you to get going first. I don't know, it's just a.
Can you go to the language that the board?
That's exactly what I was going to point out, is that this is not an appropriation in isolation. This is tied to a section. Yeah, there it is. This case. The Commissioner of Corrections and the State Chief Information Officer of Digital Services, Constitution Commissioner of BGS shall report to the Joint Legislative Justice Oversight in each scheduled meeting of committee calendar year 2026 on the plan for providing network connectivity. I mean, the other question I was going to ask on the cash piece is just where all that 750K is extending, because if it's used up on planning, the implementation part is less meaningful, effectively, is what happens.
You could add in that second section on the plan and the implementation.
Because the discussion we had with the Secretary of ADS was that they have already contractors that they work with to help on some of this, and that's where the money, extra has something that we put in to go towards.
ADS has statewide contracts where they have people already that they can use. And DOC stated to the members that they've already started working on some of these, and they're looking at their staff and reassigning and having the experts. So I'm just reiterating what you said and what I heard. So the money is going to be used to have the expertise help develop and put this planning and the evaluations, because what we don't know is that the systems, and I'm using that word very broadly, may look different in one facility than another because of the construction and what it is. And that's the unknown. That's, so they have the goals, they have the intent, but they need to layer that over what does implementation look like and what's the real cost going to be, because it isn't just what I understand. It's not just a Wi-Fi system. It's really policy and a lot of layers. So I think that's the intent to be broad in this language, as I heard, to cover and the money to help do all of that.
So you're concerned, Senator Harrison, that there's gonna be a limited amount of money and the folks who actually live in these facilities are gonna be sort of on the totem pole?
Yeah.
Right.
So Senator Harrison, you could talk to ADS and DOC. There's no intent to use this money to install anything because they don't know what to install. Is that what the, I'll say Chair Evans, is that what you heard too? That they're not using this money
They're not installing.
they're not installing it because they don't know what
They
to
don't even
install.
know what the price tag will like be a sharper for that. So I missed some of this conversation. I was looking on the next to the bottom line, compliance and activity. Is that what we changed to never?
Yes, but you need it here because this is one of the outcomes listed in the business project.
What did you say would be on the lower end of the total?
I was trying to understand better what Senator Harrison was getting at with the communications concern, and it sounds like she is worried, and I get it, that the folks who actually live here, the incarcerated, are gonna be last man in line when there's limited amount of money.
Because we haven't provided effective communications as far as I know forever.
Sure.
You're getting a telecommunications report.
Yeah, if you got that telecommunications report bill, that might help.
Oh,
No, I'm serious.
It's not, so it's true.
It's true.
Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Because we.
That's why I'm eager to do it.
Because that would really help this piece. It's kind of interconnected.
We're gonna get it done before the end of,
I get lunch in here tomorrow.
well,
We're out of here on Tuesday.
that would, interesting.
That's what I'm here
All
on
right.
Tuesday. Stop it, John. I say that at home all the time. His name is John too.
So
All right.
did we arrive at a conclusion of this one? Do we want to just not have the begin implementation piece if that's not happening? If it's just developing the plan? And then adding,
How about, so the plan is going to have a priority. I would hope that plan would include prioritizing and a schedule.
you will be getting that at each scheduled meeting in the off session, what the plan is. So I don't know if you. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That would be different.
I understood ADS this morning to be giving us 5 different buckets of things that were being worked on. I did not understand it to be this one is more important than that one. And just these are the 5, and they're gonna come back with what sort of made sense without the prioritization if this one is more important.
Right, and so for them, it might make sense to do the internal processes.
But that's where
But
you report
I-
back to joint justice, and joint justice is 3 of us here on joint justice. That's where we can give some pushback. That's why we want both DOC and ADS at the table in front of joint justice, so we can give pushback and directions and say, well, we need to maybe focus more on this than what you're focusing on.
Yeah,
And to keep their feet to the fire.
for me, given your experience with, we're already having this discussion on this language. It sounds like John's suggestions, if we don't think they're gonna implement anyway, to just take out the implementation part, have it be a plan. And at joint justice, each meeting, we talking about the priorities or anything. And it won't be something in statute, but it's something that they'll know that we can easily put in statute as soon as January turns around, right?
Yeah,
Right.
well, but the problem is with these plans, I mean, it gets very complicated, right? And if they don't prioritize, the, immediate needs, that really might go to the bottom and they'll say, oh gee, that's gonna work as planned.
Right, I don't
you
know
know,
when we're first meeting, but
Well, we gotta figure that
in
out.
July.
Probably in July.
Right,
Say, what's the plan?
well,
What's your priority?
well, why don't we have some general language that would be separate from this?
Yes, exactly. You
Okay.
could add to you could add to the report language that we were just talking about before. It's a report on the plan and you could boost that to be including any priorities. So that you would get an indication as to whether or not they have taken a stance on priorities. So,
Right, but then the summer committee doesn't really have the authority to change those priorities or dictate those priorities.
but
They just the only-
but if you also do so this is what it would look like. With what Senator Plunkett just described. The money is now exclusively available for developing a plan. So the implementation is going to require further legislative action that is informed by the reports that you're getting off session, where you can request that prioritization information. But in any event, the legislature is going to have a say. It's not going to have it in the summer, but they will have a say at the point that you know what a plan is.
And they're gonna have money, they've gotta have money somewhere to go forward with implementing it. Either general fund dollars or something, there's the IT committee on your side. We have an IT committee on our side, and that's where you kind of coordinate all of this, I would assume.
Yeah, it just, I can see it going down. We'll just, and we are 3 of 8, I think. So. Yeah,
So it's not the
it looks like it.
okay. Policy, we're going to skip over. These are agreed. The DEC pieces. This is agreed, this solicitation piece. This one you saw this morning, I don't have any highlighting here because I stripped out the highlighting, but this is the new section B, commissioner to report to the chairs, status of these negotiations.
Oh,
The
right.
date you're mentioning that you might want to.
How big of a deal is if it's 2 weeks
It's,
prior to that?
are you gonna be gone?
Yes,
Well, it says on or before.
I know, but then I want. That's the problem.
You want before you're gonna be leaving?
Yes.
You want it to be August 1?
Yes, that would be great.
If they
Or-
could get about midway through their negotiations. How long have you gone for? The last 2 weeks in August, or
Yeah, I could do the 7th, August 7th. Does that work? I mean, that's only a week.
it's saying on or before August 7th?
Right.
And it's
I'm
a
afraid
status,
the
if
first
they're
might
not
be too
done, you
soon.
can have them come back.
Well, it's middle of their negotiations and then they have to come to us when it's completed. So it's just to give us a check in halfway through. I'd be worried.
Oh, you know what? Actually, the 15th is fine. Yeah, yeah, sorry. Okay, good.
Sweet.
Good. That works.
This is Southern State Correctional, no dispute there. That's part of the Southern State Correctional. Okay, section 16, we just went over this.
Mm-hmm.
This is your one to stay.
I don't think we want to go over it again. Thank you very much.
There you go. Yep. I did want to do this.
initial.
So,
Yeah, thank you. And this high end, this is, you picked up the language from the email you received from.
Cole sent me- yeah, and I circulated it to the budget team, so Emily and Grady and JFO and Katie McLean, my colleague, and LC, and so they're aware that this is what's happening here. It may be pulled from the budget, because you only needed to travel at one place, so. Otherwise you'd have to look at it.
Right, but-
And it came from the house, it came from Teresa Wood, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so.
And if you look on B, this is where it really impacts us.
Technically, you don't need the notwithstanding language anymore, but whatever, because that's what the email said. I'm including it and I'm not disrupting any agreements.
What did you put in?
When Representative Wood sent the email, it, contained like blue highlighting markup.
Yeah, okay.
Clearly it was agreed. I didn't disrupt
Right.
anything. It has notwithstanding language that you no longer need because you're not prohibiting spending, but I don't care. So,
Yeah.
that was, DCF, BGS, for the approved design docs prior to approval of the lease. BGS to submit their approved design to you guys, exactly, at the same time DCF to submit it.
How come you care about location bars, right? At the same time, or am I sick?
You were saying that I view a format where you can see spacing, probably. Because I have to double space. This is the ADS report. I guess it's both. There we go. Network connectivity. I think you wanted to add something here related to priorities. So, Commissioner Correction, State Chief Information Officer of Digital Services, consultation with BGS, report to Joint Legislative Justice Oversight, and each meeting in calendar year 26 on the plan for providing network connectivity in state correctional facilities, authorized pursuant to including any prioritization scheme.
Yeah, or a schedule, really, prioritization and schedule.
Okay. These are already agreed, I think, from our utilities pieces. And then we do still have this special committee for the entryway design.
So that was put on by Senate from some of.
Exactly. I assume this is still agreed. I didn't know if any of the earlier discussions disrupted this, but.
I don't.
Right, it wasn't changed
Not changed.
recently, right?
No,
Okay.
no, not changed at all. Effective on passage and their names. Okay,
So our next step, we're all in agreement, right?
Yes.
So the next step be, so that. Our public, get out of here. Give about time to. With this. Form, subject to editing, so I would assume by tomorrow morning, we can have a clean copy. To, sign, correct?
yes.
Can we do early,
Yeah.
Be here.
And you got one, right?
yeah. When did you- So,
But it takes 5 minutes.
9:30. how about, yeah, I have a committee at 8:30, that should be done by 9:30.
You can't get my order to town.
Yes.
We're gonna do,
Coming right in, it's so much.
It's right there.
It's regular. Well,
Right.
it'll be there now. So, we're out. Can knock on the window.
You're not going.
I'll just,
Give me my space, but I don't want to give it up.
just sit
oh,
there.
yeah, that's everybody says.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we can see when you're arriving. too.
Oh, I have a run.
Okay, so 9:45
Thank you.
tomorrow. Yes.
Pleasure.
So
Yeah,
we need a
thank you,
handshake. We need a handshake to make sure that we are on.
Do we do it?
Agree.
We do it now?
All right.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
Big one.
All right, thank you. Okay, thanks.
All right.
That was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Rob, you gotta promise
Thanks,
that you will sing for your daughter.
And everyone look at the camera and smile. Wait, Alice, I can't see you.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That was my.
That was it.
Okay.